Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you may be calling in from. And thank you so much for joining us today for Building Your Network with Fathom's Revenue Share Plans. My name is Drew Norris. I'm your National Training Manager here at Fathom Realty. And today I have a very special guest. We have Fathom's founder, Josh Harley, here today to talk to you about building your network, to talk about Fathom, and some of the exciting new updates that you may have heard about already. Now, before I get started, I want to mention these sessions are being recorded. You'll be able to go back and review them in Fathom Academy on your own time here in the very near future. So stay tuned for that. I'll also mention that we love questions. So if you open up the GoToWebinar panel on your screen, you'll see a questions box where you can send in any questions that you may have. Josh is actually going to ask for some interactivity here. So just be on the lookout for that and send in any questions or thoughts you may have. With that said, I'm going to get off the stage and I'm going to pass the mic to Fathom's founder, Josh Harley. Josh, take it away.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Hopefully, you've attended one of our previous sessions on learning about our plans and revenue share, what that means, and so on. I will touch on that a little bit, but today is going to be a little bit more focused on building your network. So, now that we've got these new plans, you're excited about Fathom, how do you share this with other people? So with that, let's go ahead and dive right into it. One of the things I do want to say is that Fathom's mission has always been to provide the greatest value to our agents. We recognize that we work for our agents do not work for us. That's unique, I think, in this industry. A lot of people talk about it, but they don't actually live it. And so as you're sharing your Fathom story with people, it's important to understand what our value proposition is. And so I want to talk about that first and foremost. I think that'll help you as you go through the process. As Drew mentioned, before I get too far down the road, as Drew mentioned, I do want your help because at the very end, the last slide, I have a slide on handling objections. And so as we go through these slides, I'd love for you to think about, what were your objections when you first thought about joining Fathom? And as we go through, what do you think objections might be for other people who would consider joining Fathom? Now, we've had a lot of these sessions, so I've heard a lot of feedback from people. I've added a lot of those to my list. So in case I don't have that on my list, please make sure you add that to the questions box. So that way when we get to the end, Drew can read those off to me and we can make sure we address any of those objections. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, Fathom's value proposition. As I said, our mission's always been to provide the greatest value to our agents. Now, I put this in order, and there's no specific order, but I started with our splits just because most people say they joined because of our commission plans. That's not why they leave their brokerage. So I think that's really important to understand that when you're talking to someone, you're not going to convince them necessarily to change brokerages just because we cost less. There's got to be a reason that they're leaving. Now, maybe that is money, but maybe that's the lack of support or lack of technology or no training or whatever it is. There's usually an underlying cause that gets them to want to think about leaving the brokers they're with now and joining Fathom. Now, as they're out there looking for a company to join, that's where Fathom really shines because we do provide everything they need, and yet we can do it at a much lower cost. And so that's why I put our industry low commission splits. Now, up until recently, we had one plan. Now we've got two plans. Now, I'm not going to cover the Fathom one plan because that's not available to people you're going to be talking to about Fathom. We've got two plans. I'm going to touch on those in just a moment. As you also know, we've rolled out revenue share, which I think is exciting. As you've probably heard me say many, many times that 40 to 50% of our growth is from agents referring other agents to Fathom. And that was without revenue share. And so this doesn't change who we are. We're not moving into a pyramid scheme company or something else like that. It just adds to what our value proposition's always been, and that's providing greater value to our agents. You see, there's only two ways to make more money in this industry. There's increase your revenue and decrease your costs. With Fathom, you can do both of those. You can decrease your costs by coming to Fathom, because at Fathom, as I'm sure you've heard me say in the past, hopefully you've been on our town hall meetings and so on, that the average agent who joins Fathom increases their income by $12,000 to $15,000 per year. That's substantial. So, you did that without adding more sales. You just simply by reducing your costs that you're paying the brokerage, you're able to make a significantly more amount of money. On top of that, the average agent who joins Fathom increased their business by 40% over a 4-year period. Why is that? It's not because Fathom is special. I think we are, but that's not the reason why people's business goes up. People's business goes up because they have more money available to be able to reinvest back in the business. So imagine taking half of that $15,000, putting $7,000 back in your family's pocket, and taking the remaining $8,000 and pouring it into your lead generation, your marketing. Spending $8,000 a year, you can't help but generate more business. You'll trip over it. You can't help it, right? You have to close more business. I like to say you can't not close more business when you're investing that kind of money back into your marketing. So our low splits matter. They help in so many ways. Again, in this market, it's hard to increase your revenue because there's fewer homes available, interest rates are high, and so the overall market from a transaction count down between 20 and 25%, which means all of our agents' business is down between 20 and 25%. So one way to make up for that is decrease your costs to your brokerage by joining Fathom. The other way to make up for that is you can increase your revenue through Fathom by sharing Fathom with other people. So if your business is down by 25% or 20%, and you refer 4, 5, or 10 other people to Fathom, and they're bringing with them each, 5 to 10 transactions per agent, that could be another 50 transactions, and you're getting a piece of every single deal they close. Now that money's not coming from their transaction, what they're keeping. That money's coming from the portion that Fathom's keeping. So it's a win-win for both of you. It's a win for you because you're able to earn more revenue by simply sharing Fathom with others. It's a win for them because they're coming to a brokerage where they can save a lot of money, and the money that's paying you is not coming out of their pocket. It's something that they would have been paying Fathom anyways. I like to believe that our agent support is a major part of our value proposition. One thing that's unique in most markets, your only support available, especially if it's part of a franchise, your only support is your managing broker, that one person. That's it. With Fathom, we've got a lot of support. In markets where we've got more than one managing broker, you can call any one of those managing brokers for help. So while you may report to Sue, maybe John is in the market as well, and Sue's busy with another agent, or she's on vacation, or whatever's happening, you can call John and get support, and they're going to help you through to fruition. That's unique about Fathom. That doesn't happen with franchises. With franchises, they're not getting paid for you. So they're going to say, call your managing broker. I'm not your managing broker. We also have an incredible agent services team that can help you with technology, with commission issues, with whatever's going on. They're going to be able to help you through whatever issues you have. So we've got a great amount of support that's available. And as I'm recruiting agents to Fathom, one of the biggest complaints I hear them talking about is their lack of support at the brokerage that they're with. And so I'm proud of the fact that we have a lot of incredible support for our agents. Technology is another one as well. There's a lot of brokerages, 86,000 brokerages in this country. A lot of them are franchise operations, part of the big brands. But the big brands out there only represent about half of the agents out there. I don't think even half of the agents out there, more like a third of the agents out there. The other 2/3 are agents that are part of the small mom and pop operations, and a lot of them don't have technology at all, or very little technology. And so with Fathom, we provide all the tools and technology they need to be able to build a successful business. Our technology is getting better every day. We've got a great technology team. Every single month, they're rolling out updates to the system, making it easier, making it smoother, making it faster, increasing new features. And so if you haven't looked recently, take a look. We've got a lot of great new technology rolling out, and that has rolled out over the last year. We got some really cool stuff coming out very soon, which I'm excited to share with you as that gets closer. We also have great training, as Drew mentioned. He's part of that group. We've got a lot of great training online, which is nice because you can watch it in your underwear if you want to. You can sit there in bed and watch a training class on how to work with buyers or listing presentations or navigating the changes in this industry with all these lawsuits, right? So there's a lot of training and material that's available online you can watch at your pleasure. But I believe that you can't build culture in a vacuum. So while we are technically a virtual brokerage without offices everywhere, we do have offices in some markets, but not most markets we don't. We do believe in still bringing people physically together. And so we encourage our local managing brokers, our district directors, to physically bring agents together for trainings, mastermind groups, social groups, charitable events, and so on. Because what better way to build culture around things like that, where you actually physically come together, meet your fellow Fathom agents, you can share in each other's successes, mourn each other's losses. It's an incredible opportunity to really build a solid culture. Because I can talk about culture all day long and what I want the culture of Fathom to be, But ultimately, that local culture comes from the agents and the managing broker. I can't control that. I can tell people what I want, and I can hire the people I think will be able to create that culture, but it really comes down to the people that are in that market. So if those meetings and trainings are available, please show up. Because what I've heard some agents say, well, we don't have local in-person trainings. When I talk to the DD's like, well, yeah, we do. We put them out there. We do at least twice a month. And, we get maybe 5 people out of the 200 show up. So the trainings are available. Some markets, if they're not available, talk to your DD and ask why. They might tell you, well, no one's showing up, and so I just stopped having them. So it takes both. It takes the district director to put those trainings on, but it also takes you to show up, right? It's got to be both sides. So we need to help each other. As Jerry Maguire movie says, right? Help me, help you. So definitely help us, help you from that standpoint. I also added servant leadership here. I know that may not sound like a value proposition, but I do believe it is. And the reason I say that is because before I started Fathom, the first NAR conference I ever went to, I was walking through the floor and I saw a sign. I'm going to pick on them just for a minute. A sign from Coldwell Banker that said, "It's not about the agent, it's about the brand." That's literally what I've got a picture of it. It's what it says. Now, I think what they meant was that we are greater than me. Like we collectively as 100,000 agents is stronger than one agent. That's probably what they meant. That's not what they said. And to me, that is so backwards. To me, the agent is the one that's being served, not the brokerage. So our job at Fathom is to serve and lift up our agents for them to be their best. And that's unique because a lot of people talk about servant leadership, but I think you've probably seen it in your own brokerage that you were with before Fathom. Most people don't actually live it. And so I think that's special about Fathom. So I made sure to include that there. Every meeting we have, we always ask, how does this affect our agents? Is it good for them? Is this bad for them? If it's bad, do we have to do it? Is there a way around it? Is there an alternative to doing this? So we try to place our agents before profit or anything else. As I mentioned, we've got 2 industry low plans. That's the first value proposition I shared. And I think this is really important. I'm not going to go into great detail because on our previous trainings, we went through great detail about what the plans are. We've got the 2 plans now, the Fathom Max plan, which is our equivalent to our Fathom 1 plan, the flat fee plan. It's only $465 per transaction, $700 annual fee, which if you look at that monthly, that breaks down to about $58 per month. The average brokerage still charges about $100 to $125 per month. So at $58, it's way below. It's half of what the industry average is. So we're very proud of that. A $9,000 annual cap on that plan. And so it's a really great plan for agents. We also have the share plan, which is unique to us. It's something that not unique to us. It's something we've never done before. It's a traditional plan. We've always been the flat fee plans before. We rolled this out to provide greater value when it comes to revenue share. So it's a 12% split. So you do pay more into the program. It's only $3,000 more though, right? The annual cap from $9,000 to $12,000 is $3,000 more. But when you look at the bottom, the value you get back out. So from a revenue share standpoint, levels 1 through 5 on the Fathom Max plan is 10%. With Fathom Share, it's 35% level 1. That's 3.5 times greater. So 350% more income that you receive from revenue share than what you'd get on the Fathom Max plan. If you look at all 5 levels, it's 100% greater. So much greater potential to earn revenue share on the Fathom Share plan and only paying $3,000 more per year for that benefit. So who are these plans for? As I'm talking to agents, I've started realizing, this. So first of all, clearly the Fathom Share plan is for agents who are looking to build passive income. It's a great opportunity. There's a lot of agents out there who make a lot of money from passive income, from revenue share. And so this is a great opportunity for those agents who want to do the same thing, but still enjoy industry low splits, because our 12% is far below the industry average of 30%. Even brokerages who charge 20%, it's still significantly lower, almost half of what you're paying them to be able to receive a very similar revenue share. This is also a great plan for agents who just love marketing. There's a lot of agents who love marketing, who love working with Canva, who love YouTube, who love social media marketing. If that's you and you're really good at that, what better plan? Because you're someone who knows how to put stuff out there, build an audience, get people to see it, So you have a much greater opportunity to bring people onto your network and be able to earn passive income from them. This is also a great plan. I think it's probably the best plan for team leaders because you've got a built-in network right away. So if someone's joining Fathom and they've got to choose between the share plan and the max plan, both plans have a $6,000 cap for their team members anyways, but the Fathom share plan for $3,000 more, you've got a built-in team and a built-in downline already. So if you've got 10 agents on your team, you've got 10 agents in your level 1 right away. So not only are you getting that team split, you're also receiving a portion of what Fathom receives as well, 35% of our revenue share from them. Now, of course, you've got 10 agents who can all refer someone. So if each of them refer one person this year, another person next year, by the end of next year, you've got 10 people in your level 1 if you didn't add anyone else yourself, and 20 people in your level 2, right? So you can imagine that as your team grows and as they refer other people, your network grows faster than just about any other category in this company. So teams, it's a great opportunity for teams. High producers, I think it makes a lot of sense as well, because again, you're going to cap anyways. It's only $3,000 more, and yet your income potential is so much greater on the revenue share piece. And high producing agents tend to have a lot of influence over other agents. People want to join the brokers that you're with. They want to see what you're doing. They want to learn from you. And so what incredible opportunity they have. On top of that, as a high producer, you have the ability to help them. Now, you don't have to, but you have the ability to help them close more business. And it makes sense too, because if you bring someone in who closes, let's say 5 homes per year, and you can show them 1 or 2 tips that can take them to 7 or 8 homes per year, your income goes up as well just for 30 minutes of your time. So it's an incredible opportunity for high producers. And of course, I would also include highly social agents, right? Those agents who like to go to every single networking event. I talked to an agent a few days ago. I think I shared this in the last meeting we had. Agent, she's like, I only do about 3 transactions per year, but I go to every event. I go to every open house. I meet so many agents. I'm going to be on the share plan because I can meet so many people. In fact, I think she told me she'd already recruited like 8 people to Fathom at this point. So clearly she knows how to recruit. She loves Fathom. Even though she's not a high producer, she's highly social. It makes a lot of sense for her as well. So for the max plan, so who's the max plan for? The max plan is really for everyone else. Now, you don't have to want to be part of revenue share. Just because we offer revenue share doesn't mean you have to participate in revenue share. So if you just want to focus on your personal business, build your business, you want to pay just that flat $465 per transaction and just make more money per deal, then Fathom Max Plan is the best plan for you. And by the way, you still get passive income. So if you happen to be on the other side of a transaction and that agent is paying 36% to their broker on that same transaction, and you paid $465, it's kind of hard not to say, man, you paid $3,500 on that transaction. I paid $465 on that transaction. You should really think about joining Fathom. So you end up earning passive income, even if you're not out there trying to recruit other people. So great plan. I've got a feeling probably 70%, 80% of our agents will join the max plan. That's okay. I think the share plan is going to be 20, 30% of our agents. It's a great opportunity. Revenue shares can be really exciting, but again, we understand it's not for everybody. And so we're not trying to shove that down your throats, make you do it, but it is there available if you want to do it. I think this is really important to share this. This is kind of the math behind the scenes. And so as you're talking to people, it's one thing to say, hey, we only charge $465 per transaction, but it's really important for them to see the difference. What does that actually mean? So on the far right, I've got a traditional brokerage charging 30%, which by the way, there's 1.5 million realtors out there. The average, my understanding, is still paying 30%. Yes, there's a lot paying 20% or even 15%, but they probably represent, 15, 20% of the industry. The other 70%, because 10% or 100% plan, probably the other 70% of agents are still paying 30%. That's a lot of agents paying out the nose to be part of their brokerage. So on one transaction, that's $430,000 home, paying a 2.7% split. They're basically, after they pay the broker, they're taking home $8,127. If you go to the extreme other side, on the Fathom Max plan, we pay a $465 transaction fee, that you're taking home $11,145. That's $3,000 more on just one sale. Now you understand why I say the average agent who joins Fathom saves between $12,000 to $3,000 per year. It doesn't take a lot. Four sales at $3,000 savings each is 12 grand. 5 sales is 15 grand. So you can imagine that the average agent in this country sells about 5 homes per year. Actually, right now, because the market's down, it's close to about 4 sales per year per agent. That's kind of the industry average right now. That will improve, I think, as the market improves. But you can see why, even on one sale, the agents can take $3,000 more. That can be life-changing for a lot of agents who are struggling right now. So even if you don't care about revenue share, you should want to share Fathom with other people to help them save more money, put more money back into the mouths of their kids and their families. And so for that reason alone, I think Fathom Max Plan is incredible. Even the Fathom Share Plan, at 12%, you're taking home $10,217 versus $8,127. So almost $2,100 more on just one sale. So even if they join Fathom and join the share plan, they're still making over almost $2,100 more than they did at the previous brokerage. So the Fathom share plan, the Fathom Max plan, both plans make absolute sense for agents to move over and join. So if you want to screenshot this, we're probably going to share some of this with you all as well. Use this slide if you want to. I think it'll help you explain the value of Fathom above and beyond all the other stuff that we have to offer. Let's talk about revenue share just for a minute, because while I know I covered this in great detail previously, I think it's important to understand it. So that way, when you're talking to someone who maybe does not understand it, you're able to explain this to them. So first of all, what is revenue sharing? Revenue sharing is a compensation model where Fathom agents earn a portion of Fathom's commission income, which is technically our gross profit, generated by other Fathom agents they've recruited to the company. So hopefully an easy definition, right? As you recruit people to the company, you get a piece of what they pay Fathom. Now, Fathom's committed to sharing up to 50% of the company's pre-cap revenue to help the company grow. So we're basically giving 50% of what we take, making that available to revenue share. That's a big number. And we believe that this will help us grow, so it's a win-win. We're willing to do that because we know it'll help you, but it'll also help us as well. So let's talk quickly about the levels. Let me jump down to the tiered levels. For level 1, if I recruit you to the company, then you're in my level 1. If you recruit someone to the company while you're in my level 1, they're in my level 2, and so on. So let's say, for example, I'm on the Max plan, and I refer you, whether you join the Max plan or the share plan, that's not relevant to what I get. As long as I'm on the Max plan, I receive 10% of Fathom's dollar for your transactions. If I'm in the share plan, again, whether you're on the Max plan or the share plan, I receive 35%. So clearly you can see how much more money you get on the share plan. What's really cool about this is that I might live in Dallas and I refer someone else who lives in Dallas that I know from maybe a previous brokerage, but they might know someone in Colorado and they refer that person to Colorado. And they might know someone in Minnesota and they refer that person to Minnesota. Before you know it, I might have 50 people in my network that I'm receiving commission from, revenue share from, that live in different states that I've never met before. I mean, that's pretty cool. So, all right, let's move on from that. Unlocking levels. I want to share this because I think it's important to understand, number one, how to unlock levels, but also how we're different than some of the other brokerages out there. First of all, level 1 and level 2 are unlocked automatically. You don't have to do anything to unlock those. They're automatically unlocked. Level 3, you have to recruit 4 agents into your level 1 to unlock level 3. You have to recruit 8 agents into your level 1 to unlock level 4, and 12 agents into your level 1 to unlock level 5. Now, to help you understand how we're different, most companies say that the agents you bring in must still be with the company and they must be producing agents. So you could bring in, let's say, 12 agents, and half of those agents have left. So 6 have left, you only have 6 left. But then of that 6, 3 of them only close 1 transaction per year. That means you only have 3 agents that count towards unlocking levels. With Fathom, that's not true. With Fathom, we don't penalize you if an agent leaves the company. We don't penalize whether for unlocking level 4 and level 5. We don't penalize you for when an agent leaves the company, and we don't penalize you whether they're producing or not producing. So as long as you've brought them in the company and they I'm sorry, as long as you brought them the company, then they count towards unlocking levels. We have one exception, that is you do have to maintain 4 agents in your level 1. So again, if you unlock level 12 or level 5, that's 12 agents. As long as you recruit 4 agents and they're in your level 1 still, every level remains unlocked. So that's the one caveat, but that's 4. That's not 12 to keep level 5 unlocked. For a lot of our peers, level 3 is like, or level 2 is like 5 agents, level 3 is 10 agents, level 4 is 15 agents, level 5 is 20 agents. We require a much lower bar to be able to unlock levels and keep levels unlocked. So I think that plays a big difference, because that also plays into how much revenue share you're going to receive, right? If an agent leaves the company, you might lose that locked level with another brokerage. With Fathom, you won't. So with that, let's talk a little bit about building a network. First of all, understanding that your story is the most powerful tool you have to recruiting in the company. Our recruiters use this. I use this as well. Our district directors use this. I can talk about Fathom's value proposition all day long, but that's not gonna be nearly as effective as your own story about why you left the brokerage you're with and why you joined Fathom. So before you even get into that, the first thing you need to do is you need to know your audience. So as you're talking to somebody, get to know that agent, ask questions. You're gonna find that the more questions you ask, the more likely they are to tell you how to recruit them. So as you're asking questions, ask about their brokerage experience. What did you like? What did you like about your broker? Oh, I loved how supportive she was. Or I love, whatever it is. It's like, great, we have that too. In fact, I think our broker is the best. I mean, she's absolutely amazing. You're gonna love her. I'd love to introduce you to her. What didn't you like about your brokerage? Well, I hate the fact that I'm paying 30%. That's tough. But again, I love my broker, so it makes it worth it, I suppose. I really don't like the fact that it's hard to get a hold of her though, because, while I love her, there's 200 agents in my office and sometimes I can't get a hold of her. So that's really stressful. You know what? I understand that stress. I experienced that as well as my previous brokerage. With Fathom, I don't have that. With Fathom, I've got all this amazing support that I think you're going to really appreciate as well. And so that's my point though, is that as you're building that rapport and having that conversation, and as you ask questions, they're going to tell you their hot spots, what it's going to take to get them to change brokerages. As I indicated in the beginning, that there's no greater marketing message than your own story. So for example, what made you think about joining Fathom in the first place? I'm sorry, let me back up. What made you think about making a change in the first place? Why were you going to leave your brokerage in the first place? Share that part of your story. This is what you experienced. The fact is, he or she may not have brought that up, but they may be feeling that as well. So your story is going to resonate with them as well. Even if they didn't experience this current brokerage, maybe they experienced it in the past. Why did you choose Fathom Realty? There's a lot of value propositions, but what specific about Fathom was the reason you chose us? But also, why do you stay with us as well, right? Why do you stay with Fathom? We get a lot of people that talk about they join Fathom for the commission, but they stay for the culture. If that's true for you, share that. I came to Fathom because, $465 per transaction. How do you say no to that? But at the same time, I really love the culture. I love the people. We've got a great group of managers here that support me. So that's why I stay. So as you talk about your experience, what your experience has been so far, those types of things resonate with people and really gets them to want to pursue learning more about Fathom, potentially joining Fathom. One thing I want to encourage you to do, I want to ask a favor, is leave a testimonial for Fathom, because if you've had a good experience with Fathom and you're sharing your positive experience with Fathom with this other person, they're probably not going to join that very day. They're going to go back and do some research. They're going to go to our careers website. They're going to look at reviews. And so the more positive reviews we have, the better, because they're going to say, okay, maybe there's something really is there. People love to be at Fathom. So leave a review on Google Business, on Glassdoor, Facebook, and other places, because that's going to help you as you're trying to recruit them over, but it's also going to help them as they make a decision. So one of the things we provide to all of our agents is this personal join page. Right now, it's a simple form. The benefit to that, though, if you send them to the careers webpage, then they'll go through the whole careers website. They'll fill out the form. At the end of the form, it says, were you referred by anyone? They have to choose yes, and then put in your name. If they come to this form, they don't have to do that. If they fill out this form, it automatically tags you as the referring agent. So there's a benefit. Now, right now, as I said, it's just a form. It's going to be a lot more. We're working on that design right now. It's going to be a full-blown kind of one-page careers page. So all about Fathom, our revenue share model, our commission models, our value propositions, testimonials, that type of stuff. So that way they can come to this page instead of going to Fathom Careers, learn about it, fill out the form, and boom, they're already in your network. Now, it's something we give all of you. If you go to, we got a direct link. If you go to your IntelliAgent profile, so log into IntelliAgent, go into your profile, you'll see that URL in there. So for example, it might be josh.fathomrealty.com/join. We just add the /join to whatever your website is, and that is the join page. That's that. Let's talk about some marketing ideas as well. For some reason, I couldn't get the slide to progress. So marketing ideas. Social media is an incredible platform for recruiting and sharing with other people. So if you think about it, there's a lot of social media platforms out there. Don't feel like you've got to be part of every social media platform. Join the one that actually fits you the best. So maybe that's one or two, maybe that's Facebook, maybe that's Instagram, whatever it is, maybe it's YouTube, whatever it is, use that platform and kind of focus on that, pour all your energy into that versus trying to spread thin and hit every single marketing platform. Because if you don't have a network to market to, then what's the point? So focus on the platform that fits you the best. Make sure you're creating engaging content with a call to action. So it's one thing to have an image that you're saying, hey, this is our new plans. You want to make sure you're also providing them a call to action. Hey, if you want a one-on-one call, I'd be happy to share more about Fathom. Private message me right now and we'll set up a call. That's a call to action. Or visit this page, which could be your unique URL. Join this page to learn more about Fathom. So make sure there's a call to action on everything you create. By the way, that should be true for your own real estate marketing as well. You should never putting marketing out there without some kind of call to action. Make sure, now this should be a no-brainer, but I see a lot of people don't do this. Make sure you engage your followers. So if they comment or if they like, make sure you're replying to their comments. The more you get people to comment, the more you comment back. Every comment helps raise your post up so more people see it. So the more comments there, the more people are going to see your post, because it's telling Facebook that people are engaging with this post, and so therefore they want to raise it up. So make sure you're engaging as you respond to their comments. That increases the number of comments. Even if people like your post and you notice they're not with Fathom but they like your post, maybe private message them and say, hey, I saw you like the post. I'm curious. I know you're still with XYZ brokerage. Do you have any questions about Fathom? Can I, you want to set up a call? I'm happy to share it with you. One of the things you can do as well, start adding other agent connections to your network, to your social media group or platform. So, previously, a lot of people have left off other realtors from their Facebook group, for example, or whatever else, because you don't want to compete with them. But now you make sure you're friending these people, because now they're your client base, or the potential clients as well. Potential clients, and the idea that you bring them to Fathom, that they're not part of your network, you can make money from them as well. So make sure you're connecting with people from your previous brokerage that you were friends with, bring them into your friend group, make sure that way they're seeing your marketing and they're increasing their opportunity of them asking you questions and potentially joining Fathom in your network. I'd also encourage you to join real estate groups. There's a lot of real estate groups out there. I'm part of Lab Code Agents and Real Estate Masterminds and a few others. And one of the things I see a lot is people say, hey, I'm thinking about joining one of those flat fee companies in the Sarasota, Florida area. Do you have any recommendations in this area? And so what a great opportunity for you to say, hey, yeah, Fathom's in that market. You should consider joining Fathom. In fact, if you want to private message me or I can private message you, I'll share more about it. So a lot of great opportunities. I see that probably weekly, if not more, of people asking about brokerage referrals. So another great opportunity there as well. Email, let's talk about email for a second. I want to caution you against using email. If you do use email, make sure you're only sending emails to agents you know or agents you're working with on the other side of a transaction. If you're out there mass emailing people, then it's a big no-no, because you're going to end up getting your domain, your email address, and potentially Fathom's domain blocked as spam. So now imagine you're out there sending a bunch of emails to agents, and you're working a transaction at the same time, and you send a contract to your seller, and that seller never gets it because now you're going to spam every time you send an email. So don't risk it. It's not worth it. Make sure that you're not sending out mass emails, again, only to agents you know, the people you're working with. If you are going to send out emails to those people, try to avoid HTML emails. Try to avoid anything more than one graphic. I should have added as well, no more than one URL, because every one of those pieces increases the spam score, and the higher that spam score goes, the higher likelihood that your email is spam, and therefore it'll get flagged and end up never going to their inbox in the first place. And if it's not in their inbox, they probably won't see it. So try to avoid it. Just simple text is better. Asking them to for a call or for coffee or for another way to share the information with them. Networking face-to-face, I think this is actually more powerful than social media and email and everything else, because there's no better way to build rapport, share your story, and get people to move over to Fathom than in person, face-to-face. Your district director will tell you the same thing. Recruiters will tell you the same thing. It's a lot easier to recruit when you're talking to someone face-to-face. So if you can, attend different events, connect with agents, find out who they're with, share your story with them, and maybe set up a coffee for later, just to get to know them better and share your Fathom story and share Fathom with them. Video is another really good one. I saw an agent not with Fathom, though I think we should steal this. Pablo Picasso once said that good artists copy, great artists steal. I believe that's probably true. But in this case, what she was doing is she's hosting every week a kind of a who is Fathom video or Zoom call. And so agents that are on her page or wherever that sees, that these available Zoom calls, they can hop in anonymously. No one else sees them. So she's out there, sharing who is Fathom and getting people to, understand the company better and then join through her. That's a great idea. I think it's something that you should do as well. So let's talk about some marketing materials. Fathom actually currently provides you a lot of marketing materials. We're creating more and more every day. You'll see more and more stuff added out there. Currently, right now, we've got social media images available with the plans. You can actually download and share on social media. We've got flyers that are promoting the plans as well. So those are available right now. Coming by the end of this week or early next week, we're gonna have customizable flyers, customizable social graphics and headers, things that you can actually go in there, tweak as you want, kind of like with Canva, tweak it, and then be able to download that and share that content. So that's coming soon. We're probably less than a week away. So for those of you who are gonna be watching this video later on, this may be already available for you. But definitely go into IntelliAgent, go down to the marketing portal, marketing center, and look, and you're gonna see all this available. In the next month, we're actually working on this right now as well. We're gonna have explainer videos that you'll be able to share with other people, explaining Fathom, our plans, and revenue share as well. So all that stuff will be available to you, is available, and will be coming soon. So definitely check that out. A lot of great stuff you can use as of right this very minute. So definitely take advantage of that. So one thing I want to share with you, now these next two slides are not condoned by Fathom. I created these slides, so I've got to put that out there first. I think it's important though to share this information, because as you're sharing Fathom with other people, they may be thinking about joining Real or LPT or EXP or someone else. And it's important to understand how we compare with them, so that way you can explain how we're better in so many ways. And so I'm not gonna go into great detail. I went into detail during our last class, but I will just touch on this briefly. So these are our brokerage fees. Clearly, especially as I go through this, you're gonna see that Fathom is superior when it comes to broker fees in every single way. Now, LPT, for those of you who know LPT, maybe they're in your market, they do have two plans. They've got a 100% commission model as well, and their revenue share model. The reason I didn't put that 100% plan here is because they don't provide revenue share on the 100% plan. So there's no reason. I'm comparing companies and plans who provide revenue share. So I don't have to go with the max plan. I mean, clearly it's hands down, you can't touch it. $465 per transaction versus 20% or 15%. There's no comparison. $465 is about 3.5 to 4% split on average. So 3.5 to 4% versus 20%. Like, you can't touch it. Fathom's share plan though, even then, like our monthly fee, we don't have a monthly fee. We've got an annual fee, but you divide that by 12, it's $58 per month. Even the monthly fee is lower than Real, EXP, and Epic by far. It's a third of what Epic is charging almost. Our company splits 12% with no transaction fee on top of that. Real is 15% with no transaction fee on top of that. EXP is 20% plus $250. LPT is 20% plus $195. Epic is 15% lower, but it's 0.1% of the home price, which on average is $440. So 15% plus $440. So when you look at 12% plus compared to all of these, no one can even touch us on the share plan. So our plan superior, even the cap is 12,000, Real is 12,000, EXP is 16, LPT is 15, Epic is 15 as well. After you cap, we're 165. Real is 285, EXP is 250 plus 40. I'm sorry, plus 25. I know we all have E&O fees. LPT is 195 after you cap, and Epic again is on average about $440 after you cap. So clearly our broker fees, when we compare us to the other brokerages who provide revenue share, hands down, we're the best. When we look at the revenue share, I think we're right on par. We're very competitive with everyone else. At level 1, even Fathom Max, I'm not going to use Fathom Max, but at level 5, we're providing 50%. I'm going to come back to that in just a minute. But on the Fathom share plan, level 1, we're at 35%. From a percentage standpoint, higher than everyone else. And by some people, by double. Real is 33.3%, EXP 17.5%, LPT is 31%, and Epic is 20%. Even our level 2, 25 versus 26.7, 19%, 18%, 20%, and down the list. So we're highly competitive at every level. For level 5, we're providing 50% on the max plan, 100% on the share plan. Real is also giving 100%, and Epic is giving 100%. EXP is only at 60%, and LPT is 70%. At level 7, even at level 7, EXP is only giving 93%, unless you can unlock another 7%, which is called their expansion shares. I'm not sure exactly how to unlock those levels, but if you know, let me know, or those extra shares. If you know, please let me know, because I don't know how that works. I've asked a lot of people with EXP, and they don't even know. So please share that with me if you do. But you can see that we're highly, highly competitive on the revenue share side as well. So better on the brokerage plan. So in other words, for your own transactions, you have higher income with Fathom. On the network, it's very competitive with people who refer to Fathom compared to our peers that provide revenue share. So I think it's important to understand how that works. So as you're talking to people. With that, let's go ahead and jump into handling objections. Hopefully you did share some of your objections with Drew. If you did, and Drew may not read those out if I've already covered the objection, but if I didn't cover the objection, he's going to read that to me when I'm done with all these. Here's the objections I've come up with. There's actually an 8th one I meant to add to my list here, and I'm going to address that. In fact, I'm going to address that first. I love my broker. Love her. She is amazing. I would never want to leave her. I understand that. And the fact is, we've got a lot of amazing brokers at Fathom too. I feel that way about my broker at Fathom. So the question though is, you told me that you're on a 30% split with your broker. With Fathom, it's 12% or $465. So with Fathom, you're going to make another $12,000 to $15,000 per year simply by moving over. Not even closing more transactions, just simply moving over. So you have to ask yourself, is that friendship between you and a broker worth $15,000 more per year that you could give to your family? That's a hard question to answer. And if you can't say yes, then you really should think about joining Fathom. Because the fact is, if you two are truly friends, then you're still gonna be friends after you leave. If you're not friends after you leave, that means she was only your friend because you're paying her, $20,000, $30,000 per year. It's easy to be someone's friend when they're paying you that much money per year. Let's go down the rest of my objections. So number 1, I've been told that flat fee brokerages, flat fee companies are for low producing agents. You know where that's coming from, of course. That's coming from other brokerages who feel very threatened by Fathom, and they've got no leg, they have no leg to stand on, so they just make up garbage. So they say that flat fee companies are for low producing agents, but if you look at our average producing agent, Our average producing agent closes the same as any of the Anywhere brands. I mean, they don't close more transactions per agent than we do. So if that's the case, then that means that the Anywhere brands only track low producing agents too. The fact is, we attract the industry average agent, just like they attract the industry average agent. We've got a lot of really high producing agents. We've got teams that have 200 plus agents on the teams. You know, we've got a lot of high producing agents teams. It's not just for low producing agents. So it's just, you know, that just coming for people who are scared to lose their agents, and they're just trying to scare their agents. Kind of same idea. You don't want to join Fathom, because if you go to Fathom, you lose your business. Agents need to be with a big brand to win clients and sell homes. You and I both know that's not true. Now, I want to give you proof that that's not true. So you know, because when you came to Fathom, your business did not decline. That's proof by itself. But let's add some additional proof. Cue slide. This slide is actually, this data is coming from NAR, their buyer and seller profile they do every year. When I first started Fathom, this number was 3%. Now it's 1%. Only 1% of clients choose an agent due to the brokerage that they're with. That's it, 1%. So if you close, to say 10 homes per year, you might lose one deal every 10 years. In the meantime, you're saving an additional $12,000 to $15,000 per year. At the end of 10 years, you've made an extra $15,000, and maybe you lost one client. I'm sorry, but I would take that $150,000 I saved over that additional $10,000 commission maybe I missed out on. So, and by the way, I doubt that you're going to even experience that. 96% of clients chose an agent based on their abilities, their relationships, or their marketing. Has nothing to do with the brand you're with. I'd love to claim that you're able to be successful because of Fathom, because of our logo, but that's not true of any brand. Commission splits only matter in the absence of value. I 100% agree with that statement. Absolutely agree. The problem is, a lot of our peers, and I've heard many of them use this against us. Oh yeah, you don't want to go to Fathom. Look, commission splits only matter in the absence of value. What they're saying is they provide so much value that commission splits don't matter. But what if the value is the same? At Fathom, we provide you all the tools, technology, training, support, resources they do, and yet we do it at a fraction of the cost. So if the value is the same, now commission splits matter a whole hell of a lot, doesn't it? So I agree with that statement, but with Fathom, the value is the same or greater, and therefore commission splits matter a lot. How about the idea that I'm not interested in revenue share? That's okay. You don't have to be. Fathom has two great plans, the Fathom Share Plan and the Fathom Max Plan. The Fathom Max Plan focuses on your business. We understand that not everyone cares about revenue share. You don't have to pay 20% splits to be able to just simply exist with our brokerage. You can pay 12% for our revenue share, our main revenue share plan, or pay $465 for our max plan, still get the benefit of revenue share, but really focus on your personal business, make more income per sale on your personal business. If that's what your focus is, you don't care about revenue share, that's a great plan for you. You don't have to. One of the negatives, one of the downfalls, I think, to a lot of brokerages who charge, like, let's say, a 20% split and provide revenue share is, what about the agents who aren't successful with revenue share? At some point, they're like, you know what, rev share is not for me. I'd rather save money. They've got to leave the brokerage to be able to find a better split. With Fathom, if you decide I want to join the share plan and you pay 12% and you realize, you know what, I can't recruit, it's not really my thing, you don't have to leave the brokerage. You can simply change plans, move to the max plan, focus on your personal production, and boom, you're done. Other brokerages don't have that luxury. We do. How about the idea that Fathom does not have offices? You're right. You're absolutely right. In most of our markets, not all, most of our markets, Fathom doesn't have offices. Utah, we have offices. Virginia, we have offices. Idaho, we have offices. But in most of our markets, you're right, we don't have offices. But let me ask you a question. Is it really better to pay 20% or 30% split to your broker for an office you never go to? With Fathom, you're going to save $12,000, $15,000 per year. We still meet in person. You don't have to have offices to be able to have local in-person trainings and in-person meetings and the rest. We do that in our market. So you don't have to have an office to do that. In fact, I would challenge you, Go into an office where the brokerage has 200, 300, 400 agents in that one office. You walk in, and I guarantee you it's a ghost town. You might see 5 or 6 agents out of that, 3 to 500 agents that are in that office. In fact, I would encourage you to do that. Walk into any office, and it's a ghost town. So why are you willing to pay 20% or 30% splits for an office you never go to? It's not providing value to you. It doesn't make sense. How about you don't provide leads? That's true, we don't provide leads. In fact, the vast majority of brokerages don't provide leads. The Anywhere brands don't provide leads. Remax talks about providing leads, but most agents I've talked to have never received a single lead from them. EXP, LPT, Real, none of them provide leads. So most brokerages don't. Most the brokers that do provide leads, you got Redfin. You can join Redfin if you want to. They provide leads. Now you can be on a salary. You have to probably close twice as many transactions to make half as much money. But if that's your thing, that's cool too. There are a few mom and pop operations that provide leads, but ask those agents, how many of those leads close? Maybe 1 in 100. In fact, the average conversion ratio of leads, of internet leads, is 1%. And most brokerages are giving you 5 to 10 leads per month. So if you get 5 leads a month or 10 leads a month, you might get one that would potentially close in that year. But do they close with you? Are you staying on top of them every single month? You know which of those 100 agents are going to, or 100 clients are going to end up closing? It's really hard. And so why are you going to pay an extra $12,000 to $15,000 per year for potentially one lead that may or may not close with you per year? It just doesn't make sense. Take that $12,000 to $15,000 savings you get with Fathom. And by the way, we have some agents who save $30,000 or $40,000 a year, because there's a lot of brokers who don't have caps. So take that $12,000 to $15,000 on average savings and buy your own leads. Buy leads that are actually of quality. You don't have to get free leads from a brokerage that don't close anyways. And then lastly, is Fathom creating a pyramid scheme? That's an absolute no. A pyramid scheme is typically a brokerage, not typically, is a company, not a brokerage, is a company where you've got to buy product, store and sell that product, and then try to encourage other people to join and buy product and store and sell that product. That's not what a brokerage does. You don't have to come to Fathom and buy any product. You've got to hang your license with a brokerage anyways. So it's no different than joining someone else. The difference is we add that extra value of the revenue share. So that's why it's not a pyramid scheme. You don't have to participate. You don't have to buy anything to participate. You just be part of our brokerage, close transactions as you always do, as you would with any other brokerage, but get that extra value. With that, that is my objections that I've gathered from you guys over the last previous sessions. Drew, is there any other objections that maybe I did not address that someone shared?
Josh, it's funny. Somebody was about to ask about offices right as you started talking about Fathom. There's a number 5 in there, so you hit it right away. So I think we've hit everything that we need that's in here. Before we wrap up, I just want to mention if anybody has any questions about revenue share or any of the things Josh talked about today, you can check the FAQ that I pasted a link to in the chat. Make sure you grab that before you leave here. But Josh, I think you've handled all of the objections and answered all of the questions that some folks had. Do you have any final thoughts with anybody before we send everybody off to the afternoon?
No, I think just very simply that I'm very excited about these new plans. It doesn't change who Fathom is. We're still the exact same company we've always been. As I said, our mission has always been to provide the greatest value to our agents, and this just adds to what we've always said. This just adds to that. So I'm excited. I'm excited that you participate in this class as well. Hopefully you've learned something you can use to take away and help you as you build your network with Fathom as well. I'm excited about the future. I hope you are as well. With that, thank you so much. God bless.